Good evening. I call to order the City of Opalaca Commission meeting, regular commission meeting. Today is Wednesday, January 26, 2022, 7 p.m. Roll call.
Commissioner Bass.
I'm here.
Commissioner Davis.
Here.
Commissioner Dominguez.
Here.
Vice Mayor Taylor.
Here.
Mayor Williams.
Here. Commissioner Davis, invocation, please.
Father God, we gather here today and we ask you with humble hearts to watch over the city and watch over us as leaders. Father, we come to you and we ask for your guidance. We ask for wisdom. We ask that you look over our residents, and we ask that you deliver us through these challenging times and keep the city at the forefront of your heart. We bow our heads. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there, Madam Clerk, are there any awards, proclamations, or acknowledgements at this time?
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Are there any approval? Are there any pulls from the consent agenda? Any pulls, deferrals, or deletions from the agenda? Okay. Madam Clerk, if there are any items to be added on the agenda? Oh, sorry.
Yes, Madam Mayor. There is a request to amend the agenda as follows. This item will be included under new items 14.1, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opalaca, Florida, amending signatories for various bank accounts of the City of Opalaca at Branch Banking and Trust Company and City National Bank of Florida, recognizing James B. Wright as the interim city manager and replacing John E. Pate's name with James B. Wright for official purposes effective February 1st, 2022 at 12:01 a.m., authorizing city officials to execute all necessary documents to comport with this resolution and with said banking requirements, providing for an effective date, sponsored by the city manager. This item will be included as 14.1.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the first add-on item?
Move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Taylor,
Second.
second by Commissioner Davis. Roll call.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. The next item would be included as 14.2, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opalaca, Florida, approving an employment agreement with James B. Wright, providing for an effective date. This item is sponsored by Vice Mayor Taylor, and this would be included as 14.2.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the second add-on item?
Move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Taylor,
Second for discussion.
second for discussion by Commissioner Bass. Madam Clerk, roll call. Discuss now.
Commissioner Bass.
Got it. This is item,
Commissioner Bass has discussion on the add-on item 14.2.
okay,
Madam Mayor,
Commissioner Bass.
I'm looking at the contract for our new interim city manager, and I have just a few concerns. And I would like for us to just go through it to make sure that we do what's best for our city financially. Number one is the pay scale. Because I believe at this point where we are, I'm not sure, I guess Mr. Bob would have to answer this question, if we are in a place financially to pay out that much right now. I'm not saying that it won't happen going forward, but as it relates to right now where we are, I don't know if we can do this financially without harming the city any further financially. So that's my take. I would like to hear what the rest of my colleagues have to say.
Commissioner Bass, yes, I echo your sentiments exactly. I am concerned about the pay scale. Because a few factors. And I'll go through it as we go through the document. We are, and just to make sure our residents know, to make sure it's out there, we are still paying our former city manager a salary. He is still a salaried employee. So we are now saying that we're going to pay a salary that of the existing or former city manager. That to me seems like a budgetary constraint. Also, I am concerned that our current it's not deputy, what's the word? Interim, thank you. Interim city manager has not been a city manager before. So that concerns me because you know, if that's on the resume, then of course, I would have no problem if that work history as a city manager has been there. But the type of pay that's being requested does concern me. And I think, again, Commissioner Bass did request maybe, I'm actually going to request if Mr. Anthony can let us know if there's a budgetary constraint on this. Because at the end of the day, I do not want any fiscal issues with, because we know we're under state oversight.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Bob Anathan, Budget. There is no impact on the bottom line for doing this because even though there is some overlap in compensation that the mayor referred to a moment ago, there are enough vacancies within the rest of the city organization that have no impact on the bottom line.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I was talking to Madam
Yes, ma'am.
Clerk.
Sorry. No, what I said is, even though there is some overlap, as you mentioned a moment ago, there are enough vacancies throughout the city organization at this point that on the bottom line, it will have no impact against the approved budget.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Commissioner Bass.
Ms. Floyd. Ms. Floyd.
Oh, sorry, Ms. Flores. Yes.
So this item is just to add
Yes.
the item to the agenda, and the discussion on the actual item should come under 14 when the actual item is under consideration.
Mhm. Yeah,
Thank you.
misunderstood. So we'll come back to that, Mr. Anathan, thank you. Okay, so at this time, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Taylor.
Second.
Yes. Oh, yes, okay, you're right. Can I have a roll call on the the second add-on item?
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
okay. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Taylor,
Second.
second by Commissioner Dominguez. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
okay. At this time, we will approve our minutes of the regular commission meeting minutes, January 12th, 2022. Can I have a call for a motion to approve the regular commission meeting minutes for January 12th, 2022?
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Davis, second by Commissioner Bass. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Bath,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
okay. Call for a motion to approve the special commission meeting minutes for January 14th, 2022.
Move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Taylor,
Second.
second by Commissioner Dominguez. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Bath.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Call for a motion to approve the special commission meeting minutes for January 20th, 2022.
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Bass,
Second.
second by Commissioner Dominguez. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, at this time, do we have any District 1 or District 2 county commissioner reports? Is there anyone on the line? No one's on the line? Okay, seeing none. Do we have any public presentations?
No, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. At this time, we have citizens forum. This is the opportunity for discussion of any concerns. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Madam Clerk, if you can read the rules of participation of citizens forum for the record.
Yes, good evening. City of Opalaca Commission meetings are held in person at Shabandi Village Auditorium, 215 Purvis Avenue, Opalaca, Florida. Members of the public wishing to address the commission may do so in person or virtually. Those persons wishing to participate virtually should register prior to the scheduled meeting time on the city's website at www.opalacafl.gov. When speaking before the commission, please make sure to give your full name and address for the record. There is a 3-minute time limit for public comments. Please adhere to the decorum policy, which is part of the commission meeting agenda. City commission meetings are aired through live stream at www.youtube.com/user/City of Opalaca. And at this time, we don't have anyone participating online for citizens forum.
Okay, thank you. Citizens forum is now open.
Good evening, Tarani Mitchell, 14225 Northwest 22nd Place. I have a couple of concerns tonight regarding my area on the side where Siegel Park is. I'm raising the question of if anyone is going out checking the work that's being done, the remilling of the streets. On our side, the roads are wide. They're not completely finished striping. They started and stopped. Some are like the beginning started and then they stop. But if this work is being done, someone from upper management within the city needs to go out and check this work because it's real sloppy on both sides, on Burlington side and on the side by Siegel Park as well. Another concern I had an issue on State Road 9 and I was at the new light down by Park and Ride. And when the light turned, we couldn't go because there was a car decided that he wanted to do donuts in that middle intersection. And there were 3 guys out there filming him doing the donuts. I called my colleagues, FHP, and I was told that they no longer handle State Road 9. Now, I was told that Opalaca doesn't. So we need to find out who is needed to be called in a situation such accident or in a case like that or whatever. She told me she would go ahead and send FHP because of the situation at that time, because someone almost got killed. And I asked the question, she said, well, it was a couple of months ago that we gave it back to Opalaca. So our city needs to find out if we're responsible for answering calls on State Road 9 or if FHP is still responsible, because that was a serious matter. Also, Siegel Park. We still have people sleeping on Siegel Park. I come all the time to ask. Previously, we used to have police that go by time to time during the night and everything. Right now, there's somebody out there with a TV now. They alter the electricity. Sometimes the lights are on and sometimes it's not. It's very dark. They'll leave the Helen Miller building lights alone, but the whole park is dark. I watched the mom today. She was letting the kids go. And after she saw the guys sitting there with the TV and so forth, she made her kids go back home. It's not fair to the kids. The park is for everybody, but not for your socialization. If you want to go and just chill, you want to sleep there, that's not a place to sleep. So we can kind of set up a schedule with the police department to have police to go by there day and night because they've been there all day. And let's let them know that Siegel Park is not a hotel. Thank you.
That's right.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and the Commissioners. John Riley, 2963 Northwest 135 Street, Opalaca, Florida. I sympathize with the former speaker. But in case you want to know, and you're on the phone with the state, let them know that Opalaca city limits ends on 17th Avenue. And that particular area you're talking about is on 7th Avenue. It's 10 blocks outside of the city limits, so there's no way that Opalaca would have anything to do with it. And the state cannot give up its responsibility for state roads. That's just the way it is. If it was in between 17th Avenue and 27th Avenue, I can understand it, but anything east of 17th Avenue has to be the state of Florida. I wanted to congratulate you, Madam Mayor and the Commission, on your selection the other week for city manager. We have had a problem in our city. We're hoping that desires will be handled. But I also want to say to you, growing up, I'm 77 years old, and I know what it is to be talked about negatively. It happens. Someone is going to find something negative to say about any one of us at any time. We've been described as crab in a bucket. We always want to pull somebody down. But it takes a real man and a real woman to build somebody up. And we are on a building foundation in Opalaca. We got to rebuild what has been torn down and what has been destroyed. We can make Opalaca what it's supposed to be as long as we work together. And I also want to congratulate this commission. I see the camaraderie between you, and that is very healthy. Makes me very proud. And with that, I thank you, Madam Mayor.
Good evening, Natasha Irvin, 670 Dunat Avenue. I too would like to congratulate you all on your pick for city commissioner. City manager. As a resident homeowner, a business owner, you don't know how it feels to receive that call that says, hey, it's people riding and around the city and looking. Well, what people? Explain to me what people, who you talking about? So I did a little snooping and found out that for the first time in a while, the city manager, interim city manager, either way, was out checking out our city. I was elated, like, yes, somebody to look over what somebody else, what our employees are doing or are not doing to make a correction. That felt really good as a resident, because that's what I'm looking for. I don't need the city manager to sit behind a desk or sit at home behind a desk all day trying to man the city. So that, I've been keeping my eye on him. I can tell you he get to work very early in the morning. And I can tell you he's usually the last person to leave. Very much appreciated, very much appreciated. And we're gonna keep doing what we are doing to make our city better for all of us. So congratulations to you all. And Mr. Interim City Manager, I'm watching you. I'm here if you need anything, but I'm watching. I'm watching everybody, actually. So you all take care. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Commissioners, and each and every one of you in your respective places. Cheryl Kaysen, retired Chief of the Great City Opalaca, and Opalaca address 781 Curtis Drive. And yes, I'm very perky tonight, and I'm very happy. I'm happy for the city manager, Mr. James Wright. I'm gonna tell you a quick little something to touch on Tariana and Mr. Riley. I know his middle name William and they call him Bill. Now, this right knee right here, I had total knee replacement. I'm sorry, I'm gonna tell you because I got to tell it. Okay, that man right there, who's the city manager now, thank you, Lord Jesus, because guess what he did? Had us out there to Siegel Park, cleaning it up, checking it, and that's how I fell in the hole and got injured. James Wright did that. I was the night supervisor and we had to go out there. Ms. Mitchell, you remember that? Yes, under his, and also what you're getting, he may not have been a city manager, but we done came to so many meetings so we could do city manager, mayor, clerk, we could do all of this stuff. We've attended so many meetings. So I'm just happy to say that he has the experience. And one thing about you new crew, I knew you could do it. And I will say this, and I'm gonna rest, I love y'all. Let me say this. We can't go with Rome when we're going with Wright. Good evening.
Election.
Good afternoon, Commission, Mayor and Commission. 640 Dunad Avenue, Chris Roberts. One concern, y'all need to fire y'all PR person because she's not seem to be doing any work. I mean, if it takes you anything that's being done in this great city, it's advertised the day before. If you want people in the community to participate, you have to advertise it way before that time period.
Citizens forum is open. Okay. Citizens forum is now closed. Would the commission like to respond?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I just have,
I'll work this way down. I'll work that way down. Okay.
okay.
Commissioner Davis?
Thank you. To Mrs. Mitchell and her comments regarding the street improvements over on Burlington Street by the canal and the issues that we've been having on Siegel Park and really, to be honest, all of our parks for that matter. I too share those same sentiments. You know, as you know, the Kaboom Park and Siegel Park have been, I guess, notorious for having the wrong element kind of hanging out there and deterring kids and residents from enjoying the activities that our parks have to offer. So if to the manager, if you know, we could have regular patrols over our parks. I know that as far as Kaboom Park and Shabandi Park, we went as far to put some things in the budget to make improvements. One of those things were fencing. So obviously we can control, you know, when the park is open and when it's closed. And the train of thought that kind of came behind that was, you know, once it's secure, you know, we can kind of enforce the hours. So that, you know, if someone's hanging out there, you know, past operating hours, the police department will have like jurisdiction to enforce trespass and that sort of thing. So, yeah, so we're on it, Ms. Mitchell. And, you know, through the manager's office, I hope that we will follow up through our police department to ensure that we have regular enforcement and that we are patrolling those areas. And as far as State Road 9, I live in the same neighborhood, so I too hear those loud screeching tires in the middle hours of the night. From my knowledge, I agree with former Mayor Riley, which is, you know, State Road 9 it's a state highway, and FHP should have jurisdiction in that area. I think I remember my first traffic ticket was actually on State Road 9. And that's how I know that, you know, they have jurisdiction there. So I don't think, you know, that's a change that happened. I think they still have that same jurisdiction. So, you know, we'll get an answer and follow up through the manager's office to ensure that, you know, that we are patrolling that area as well, and ensuring that the street racing, which has, you know, been a thing for years, you know, we put an end to it, but that's an ongoing battle. So thank you for those comments. Thank you. That's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Commissioner Bass?
Thank you. I almost forgot what I was going to talk about, but again, like I always tell our residents, I appreciate you. We appreciate you all coming with your concerns. We as Mayor and Commission cannot fix everything, but we know who to hand it to. And I know that our city manager is paying attention and he's listening to your concerns. And as it relates to our PR person, if it's okay, I would like for our city manager to answer that question, or to, you know, just respond to that.
Thank you, Commissioner Bass, Madam Manager, Mr. Vice Mayor, members of the commission. Thank you so much. The first thing I'd like to address is this is maybe coincidental. However, I had a meeting this week with the Parks Director, and actually that meeting was here at Shabrundi, outlining some of my expectations for our parks, what I'd like to see, specifically from the programming standpoint, the demographics, our outreach, and to really ask him to provide data with respect to what is happening at our parks. So I'm already on that. I've already had a conversation, understand the concerns of the commission, had a follow-up meeting, ensured that the assistant city manager met with the Parks Department. And so we're moving forward on that. Again, I want to address very briefly State Road 9, as former Mayor Riley indicated. A certain segment of that roadway is the responsible of Florida Highway Patrol. That does not mean that the police department cannot also conduct and do traffic enforcement in that area as well. So we'll ensure that. I've asked my executive assistant to capture these notes. We will follow up with the resident to make sure that we glean her information so that we can address these issues and not only follow up with the commission, but also with her as well to develop a plan. In conversations, I'm also looking at beautification. So I had that conversation earlier this week with the assistant city manager with respect to beautification of State Road 9, and I want to know if it was, if we still owned it, or if it had been conveyed, if the state conveyed it to us. And so I'm looking at some of those things as well. With respect to our PR person, I believe that we are in transition. I would like to see, as the citizen indicated, you know, more communication with our citizens. And to a large degree, what you can expect from me is I am moved by data. That's what moves me. So if we are, you know, having an event, we want to make sure that it's properly planned. We get the attendance and the participation that we're looking for. And so we'll address those concerns.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Anyone else?
Madam Mayor,
Vice Mayor Taylor?
really, really quick. In regards to Ms. Mitchell's other concern, she talked about lighting on Siegel Park. She said that the building is lit up, but the park itself after hours has no lights. Through the manager, to the mayor, to the manager, are there lights on Siegel Park? Do they work? Do they? I know we had the issue with Ingram, and I'm told, I guess it's supposed to be working now. But Siegel, is there lighting?
I haven't been there. I'm going to ask the park director to come up to address that.
And while he's doing that, I have one more question in regards to that. Lighting, and my colleague talked about signage. Do we have signs on our park? No loitering, no trespassing after hours on our parks? What the managers.
I apologize.
Oh, I asked about signage. No loitering, no trespassing after hours on our parks.
One of the things that as the interim city manager that I'd like to do is, you know, when some of these discussions come up, I would like an opportunity to address them as a future agenda item, because sometimes I may not have the answers to those questions that you're posing. And if it's okay with the mayor and the commission, once an issue is addressed, we'll take copious notes and then follow back up with you with those issues if that is appropriate.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Manager. First, let me just say much appreciation for the citizens that, you know, get up week after, well, twice a month and come and share and let us know what the successes and the barriers are in our city. Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. You always, you know, giving us the good, the bad, and indifferent. And everyone else out here, Ms. Kaysen and Ms. Irvin, former Mayor Riley. So we do appreciate all your concerns and just the zest for getting our city back on track. I would like to respond to Ms. Irvin. I too heard about the drive-bys and the looks, and I'm excited. I was happy to know that myself, because you know, if you all have been watching the school board meeting, one of the very contentious items was, but you don't live here, right? Like, that was huge. And what we want to, you know, and that's not a part of our charter, but you live here. We know our interim city manager is going to be here, be present, and be saturated in our community. And that's something that I myself can speak to. I'm happy to know that part. So I appreciate Ms. Irvin bringing that up. Also, we spoke about, Mr. Manager, and I know you're taking copious notes. We spoke about before a few times, and of course, we'll bring this up in agenda briefings or future agenda items, of having the inmates come and clean. And since that is an FLDOE stretch of the road, that should be something that we should take a look at. State Road 9 is a mess. I mean, I don't care how many times I've had so many organizations try to contact us as a city. Can we come out to clean it? They clean it and it's a mess. And it's just disgusting. And the problem is, because it is a gateway to Opalaca, everybody assumes it's Opalaka's mess and that we're ignoring it. So we really need to make sure we get on top of that. Okay, if there's nothing else, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Taylor.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dominguez. Roll call.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Baz.
Yes.
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Mayor Williams,
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, on to our new items. Madam Attorney, can you read the item into the record?
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opalaca, Florida, amending signatories for various bank accounts of the City of Opalaca at Branch Banking and Trust Company and City National Bank of Florida, recognizing James B. Wright as the interim city manager and replacing John E. Pate's name with James B. Wright for official purposes effective February 1st, 2022 at 12:01 a.m., authorizing city officials to execute all necessary documents to comport with this resolution and with said banking requirements, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the city manager.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to discuss the items added into the agenda?
Move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Taylor,
Second.
second by Commissioner Davis. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Bass,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Yes.
Okay. Is there any discussion on this item? Okay. I apologize because we were supposed to discuss and then so that's why I didn't want you all to think we're not discussing it. Sorry. Okay. Next agenda item.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opalaca, Florida, approving an employment agreement with James B. Wright, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by Vice Mayor Taylor.
Vice Mayor Taylor.
Move it.
Oh, move. Can I have a motion? Moved by Commissioner Dominguez, second by Vice Mayor Taylor.
Well, this item is in regards to the employment of our city manager, employment agreement. It's urgent because technically he's not on payroll as a salary employee. So we want to make sure that we do our due diligence and make sure that our city manager, interim city manager is compensated for the work that he is doing.
Okay. Anyone else?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Commissioner Bass.
as I stated earlier, I spoke about the salary for our new interim city manager. I'm still holding my ground at that because I know what Mr. Budget Director said, but at the same time, I'm thinking that, we need to really have a discussion about this.
Commissioner Bass, I too agree with you. Looking at section 5, the compensation and annual review, I am concerned about the salary of $162,200. I would like to go back to the wording of the last sentence. At any time during the term, the commission may agree to increase the base salary and or other benefits received by the manager in such amount. And to such extent as the commission may determine to be desirable in its sole discretion. And I think we need to take a look at that sentence because for us to go to the top, and I said it again, I myself cannot expect to be at that top pay scale without having that a part of my resume. And so that does concern me, having that top pay scale and not having that experience as a manager. I would like to, however, make sure that we understand that throughout this interim process, we can move the salary up. We can make increases within the salary. I do understand what Mr. Anathan is saying, but it will be a budgetary constraint. That money will come from somewhere. So I would like to ask Madam Attorney, are we able to negotiate tonight if the board sees fit?
The manager is here and I think he's open to listening and I would encourage him to participate.
Okay, Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Madam Manager.
Yes.
Madam Manager, I apologize. Thank you, Madam Mayor. There are two things that are important that I believe the council and the citizens should understand. Number one, it was the HR director who actually brought this to my attention. And that was, we have payroll and I don't have any information from the commission with respect to your salary, et cetera, right? And I encouraged her to speak with the city attorney. And after some discussion and research by the city attorney, we realized two issues. Number one, state statute prohibits retroactive pay. So moving this to, or waiting until February 1st for this to come up would put us in a situation. Number two, the HR director also indicated that she was concerned that this may cause some unnecessary attention by having to pay retroactive pay, and that was prior to having that discussion with the attorney. I apologize that in the document we did not submit my CV. So to begin, if you look holistically at local and county governments, a number of city managers have come both from the ranks of police chief and fire chiefs. Because when you look at public safety as a whole, it comprises 50% or more of a city's budget. And so if you can run a police department or a fire department, the concept is that you can run a city government. Besides that, I would have you to know that I have 31 years of local government, county and local government experience, having spent my entire adult life in public service. Previously served as the city's police chief from 2005 to 2008, a business owner, entrepreneur, and relationships that I don't, so you're not just getting a city manager, you are getting relationships that I have built and maintained at the state level, at the local level, and at the federal level with respect to the issues and the concerns here in the city. Aside from my law enforcement experience, I will tell you that I have served on a number of boards at the federal level, having been appointed to the first ever taxpayer advocacy panel by President Bill Clinton, selected as one of 11 Floridians. Over 1,100 people applied. I currently serve as on the Miami-Dade Economic Advisory Trust Economic Action Committee. Have been serving in that capacity since 2018. In addition to that, last year, the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services Commissioner Nikki Freed appointed me to a 5-year term on the Private Investigation, Recovery and Security Advisory Council, where me and 10 other members provide recommendations with respect to how to improve those specific industries. My experience specifically in local county government is vast, it's wide. And while there may be a concern with the dollar amount, our budget director, who I will tell you is pretty credible. My observation of him, my assessment of him is that he is not going to provide any information to this commission with respect to budgetary items that don't have a public purpose. In addition to that, he's already indicated that we have those dollars in the budget. Currently, I've asked both him and the HR director with respect to outstanding vacancies that we have. As a matter of fact, the salary doesn't even have to come from the general fund. We have 41 full-time positions that are vacant that we're looking to fill because there are challenges in this city. While I do appreciate the concerns of the commission, I believe that there was some original language in the initial resolution. And so if you look at this from a base salary, and let's look at this from an incremental standpoint. Number one, there is a term that the commission initially looked at. And so this salary is not going to be paid all at that time. It will be based upon the weekly, the biweekly, I apologize, the biweekly payment of that amount. If the commission decides for whatever reason after the national search that they determine that they no longer need my services, there will be absolutely no severance payout to some degree if it is with cause. In addition to that, if we don't come up at a year's term, the salary will not have, the city will not have paid out that full amount of money. And so I'm prepared to answer any other questions that the commission, the mayor, the vice mayor, or anybody else on this body would have with respect to my qualifications and my expertise in those items. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Anyone else on the board?
Madam Mayor,
Vice Mayor Taylor?
okay, I believe that the salary for the previous manager was 69.7 for 169, and he's taken 162. So which is a $7,500 difference. Comparable to other cities, we can't pay our people under what others are making and expect them to give us quality work. We want quality people. I understand everybody's reserved, and that's the reason why we have a lot of vacancies, because we don't pay our people. We don't pay our people. But if you look at other city managers in surrounding municipalities, they make way more than what we're proffering to our interim. So I understand what we're saying, Commissioner Bass is saying, my colleague is saying that we want to set a goal for our city manager to go to if we want to give him a raise. But if we want to get quality people and we want people to be happy and stay in Opalaca, we have to pay them. We got to pay them. Because if had it been this manager or any other manager, 169, that's compared to other cities, it's not a lot. And I'm done.
Okay. I'm going to respond to that. We cannot compare ourselves to other cities because we are in a financial oversight with the state of Florida. We report our finances. So if every decision we make, that's a budgetary decision, we're doing it based on comparison of Miami Gardens or comparison of North Miami Beach, who pays their city manager $250,000. But we have a turnaround of city managers. And one of the things that we don't do, that public sector does, is allow people a grace period of 90 days. And that's something that we did not do. I was on this board when it happened. 90-day grace period, and every single, right down to Amazon, public sector job will give you that to show what you know, to show that you are the person for the job. And so that's my issue, is that we we're saying, and I agree, you're right, we don't get the right people, but it's not based on salary, because if we went through months of budget meetings, there's plenty of people getting a lot of money in Opalaca. Unfortunately, those at the lowest don't. The reality of it is, but are the ones that are making the top dollars producing? And what we don't do is allow them to show us the production of their work. So that's my only issue that I have. I'm not against this, I don't want this to be I'm super glad that we have, Mr. Wright here, but I'm also say that we allow people to show what they can do and deliver. And so when we jump out to a comparison of other cities, then we don't show. And so that's my issue. I would like to bring up one other issue though, that I do have. It is under section 2, letter B. The manager shall be limited to a maximum of 5 hours of outside employment per week. So I have a question mark there because I'm a little confused by what that language means. I'm not sure who can explain that to me. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Prior to my selection, I was am a business owner. And so there are times on the weekend where staff may need me. I'm committed to the city. I've already transitioned a number of employees to run the day-to-day. But there are times on the weekends that I may have to involve myself, maybe sometimes physically, sometimes not. Most of these, based upon my business model, most of these issues are handled, by the telephone. But also, I also want to cover myself, number one, because I have an obligation as a public official. That's statutory. That I'm required to disclose this. And so, on one hand, you can say, well, really, how's anybody going to know? But we don't want to start out our relationship in the city like that. So it is more important for me to disclose this information. Somebody sees me someplace on the weekend and they say, oh, the manager has another job. Then it comes back to the commission. And then there's an issue and there's a concern. What you can expect from me since my interim appointment since January is you can expect me to be forthright. You can expect me to be open, honest, and transparent. We have nothing to hide here.
Anyone?
Okay, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Now, sorry again. In regards to the compensation, we talked about the 90 days. I understand what you're saying about the private sector, but most of us up here are salaried employees. And when we go to jobs, they tell us our salary at the beginning. Yes, we can do probation, but I don't understand what you mean or how his probation relates to his salary. So maybe if you would elaborate a little bit more, because at my interview, I'm told what I'm going to be paid. And we negotiate at the interview process, which is what we're doing now, negotiation. So 90-day probation, are you saying that we give them less and then the 90 days give them more?
Mm-hmm. And let's keep in mind, we all don't work for public sector. I mean, for private sector. So that's why that's your salary when you go to your interview. But also keep in mind, when you go to your interview on your resume, you have that experience so that you can go to that person that's interviewing HR and be able to say, I deserve the top salary. So I'm saying in private sector, which this is private sector, that it is a grace period that is given to show what you can do. And already we're jumping out with, I mean, less than $7,000. I think that we should negotiate. Personally, I think that we're, again, we are under state oversight. We have the state that, we have to be able to spend our money in a way that makes sense.
Madam Mayor?
But it will
If I may.
Yes, Commissioner Dick.
Thank you. Just speaking from a little bit more experience, but since I've been up here a little longer and I can speak to some of the issues we had around recruiting a manager, retaining a manager, and that sort of thing. So historically speaking, we've always paid our managers in the low 100,000, 90, like that range. Obviously that, really didn't get us much of a return over the years. Most recently, when we decided to do a national search, i.e. and recruit our last manager, we decided to raise the ceiling a little bit more to, garner more interest. So Commissioner Taylor is right in his statement of, we need to be competitive, right? We want the best, the brightest, the most consistent, the most present. And unfortunately, that comes with a price tag. I hear the concerns. I see, that there is consensus regarding the starting amount. And then I do know that 90 days, the 90-day probationary period, you might feel a little bit more comfortable, with raising the ceiling of the salary at that moment. But I would actually hope that, some sort of formal evaluation would take place, that is not just, solely based on, hey, you made it past 90 days, let's give you a raise, right? Like that. It's actually based on performance. So, I hear it. I understand. I think it's, it's slightly less than what we proffered for the last manager. So, there is a cost savings there. However, I think, if we want to come to a salary, a starting salary, I think there needs to be consensus on it. So if you don't mind, throwing an amount out there that you, that you agree with in hopes to maybe amend the item. Commissioner Bass, I know you also had a concern, so maybe, we could all come to some agreement, but I don't think it's that far of a stretch. Just speaking from experience, because, that's the reason we don't have a finance director, right? Because, we had issues there and like Commissioner said, with many of our executive level positions, that's always been a challenge, the political inconsistency and stability, as well as, starting salaries.
Madam Mayor,
Commissioner Bass.
as Commissioner Davis just stated, the monies that we paid to our former city manager, you saw what we got. So at this point, for me, money doesn't have that much to do with it, it's integrity. And everything has to be proven, in my opinion. So I am truly hoping that we would put a time period, like the 90 days evaluation, and raise it. That's how it's done. That's how I believe it needs to be, because, you give all at once, there's nothing. So in my opinion, I think we should put a cap somewhere, and not the 162, a 30-day evaluation, based on the evaluation, raise it. That's my opinion.
You said raise it. What's your number that you would like to, in terms of salary?
I
I'm
believe
gonna put a
with,
motion as soon as I hear. Mhm.
I believe within 30 days, I believe that would be sufficient time for us to make a decision or have enough information to work with, including a, help me, evaluation.
Mhm.
And I believe at that time, I am more than willing enough to go to the 162. But right now, I think we need to go just drop a little bit, something to work towards, and then we make that decision.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Manager.
in most public entities, the probationary period is actually a year. You're on probation for a year. And evaluations, for instance, for county government, a probationary employee is evaluated in the police department every 6 months. And that at the end of your second evaluation, you either make probation or you don't. I don't have a problem being evaluated. Absolutely not. But I believe it is equally important that if the commission is going to say, let's do a 30-day evaluation, what is the criteria and the performance dimensions on which you're going to evaluate me? If you're going to ask for an evaluation, that needs to be discussed. That needs to be concretized before we can talk about, in my opinion, what the salary is going to be. And let me also remind the commission that in this document, it says at any time, the commission, this body, wants to terminate my services as the interim city manager. You can do that at any time that I want to separate and terminate this relationship with the city. I can.
Madam Mayor,
Commissioner Dominguez.
I want to say that we have three entities here that fall under us: city clerk, city manager, and the city attorney. None of them have had an evaluation. So I want everyone to be equal if we're gonna do for the city manager, the city clerk, and also the city attorney. I've never heard of you starting a salary and 3 months later, if you are good, we'll raise it up. I've never heard of that. If your starting salary is an amount, that's what it is. Not, we're gonna pay you this amount and 3 months later, we'll raise it up to another amount. I've never heard that before. That's my opinion on that.
Just, it is very known and this is, it's done. It is done. People are vetted. I hear the will of the commission. However, I still stand by that we should, I mean, personally, I would have wanted to workshop this. But just make sure we all understand that at any time, after 20 weeks, we do have to pay severance. Okay. Just want to make that known. I hear the will of the commission. So if there's no other amendments, is there any amendment to this, to the contract or no? Okay, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass,
No.
Mayor Williams,
No,
motion passes 3-2.
thank you. Are there any planning and zoning? Any ordinance resolutions, public hearings? I'm sorry. At this time, Mr. Manager, if you can deliver your report to the commission.
thank you, Madam Mayor. Okay. All right. Very briefly, I'll make it brief tonight. First of all, thank you all for your confidence in my appointment as the interim city manager. I have been speaking with employees, getting a handle on the issues and the concerns that both short-term and long-term that will have impact to the city. I realize that I understand not only this assignment, but the position of public trust that I hold. And so my two concerns that I've expressed to the majority of you all is to get the city out of state financial oversight. And then number two, my second priority is to implement policies and procedures that continue to limit the city's exposure to liability. There's a tremendous amount of work that needs to be done in the city. I am elated to be back home as some people have welcomed me. And I am extremely hopeful that the city, that the employees that the city currently have, they are excited. We have experienced people that are willing to do the work. And we're just here to assist in sharpening some pencils and get to work. At our next commission meeting, I'll have a more detailed report for you that you would be able to receive prior to the commission meeting. I want to also say that that I am here to work in a collaborative fashion, not only with our state oversight board, but as well as this body, because I think it is important. I believe it is what the citizens and the taxpayers deserve in the city and those that traverse through here. And so I am looking forward to working with each and every one of you and to continue to move this city forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do we have any official board reports?
No, Madam Mayor.
Any future agenda items? Okay. Mayor and commission reports?
Madam Mayor,
Yes,
I would just like to take a
that was,
moment.
I didn't know who said it. Commissioner Bass?
On me.
Yeah.
I just want to take a moment to say thank you to the City of Opalaca Police Department, Chief Jackson, for taking on our 5,000 role model at Dr. Robert Bingham Elementary School. And we're looking forward to working with the police department as they groom our boys into men. So I just want to put that out there, and that partnership is valid. So thank you so much.
Madam Mayor,
Commissioner Dominguez?
I just wanted to take this time to thank the city clerk's office and her staff for every time I call for anything, they're always there to assist. Because of her, my pictures are up, and I wanted to personally thank her. I just wanted to thank you and your staff. Thank you so much.
Madam Mayor,
Vice Mayor Taylor?
really quick, I just want to thank everybody that showed up and supported the MLK and Ollie B. Kelly Peace Day that we had. It was a great success, and I can't wait till next year. Also, I don't know this is the right time, but I'm bringing it up anyway. Madam Clerk, you stop me if I'm moving too fast. The Charter Review Board, we discussed it, but we're running tight on time. So I think the mayor proffered a name because we haven't gotten it. So can we appoint those two as advisors? I know she gave one.
We haven't,
Well,
yeah, we
I'm
haven't
sorry,
reached
Madam
out.
Mayor.
We were
I would-
pausing so before we reached out to her.
Oh, I thought you had already had a discussion. I'm sorry.
No, I actually was throwing the name out. I also threw out League of Women Voters so that we can have that discussion with them. I'm sure, I mean, you know, a charter review committee would be something that they would be interested in partnering with, but I didn't move forward with that until, yeah.
Okay, so now my next question is, Madam Clerk and Madam Attorney, being that those two vacant seats are advisors and non-voting members, And because we are pressed for time, can the charter board start meeting? Because they're non-voting and they're only advisors. We have all of the voting members intact. We're just waiting on a meeting date.
Well, I think this issue had come up before. My recommendation was that you have a full slate of people that you are going to appoint, and then you start meeting at one time so everybody's on the same page, and with training, with instruction and everything else. That would be my recommendation. However, I guess if the commission is interested in looking at maybe changing or amending the item, maybe we can bring it back as a management item on the next agenda, and then you can figure out how you want to have those other two vacancies filled, and in a different way. That way you can start your meeting and we can do something in the meanwhile that doesn't require you to continue waiting.
Can we appoint city employees through the manager as temporary seat fillers?
No, sir. I think it's pretty specific in terms of who you're appointing, and that's not one of the options.
Okay.
I would
So by
like
next
to,
week, then we'll
yeah, if
have
I,
one and then I'll have another one. There you go. Madam Mayor,
Commissioner Davis.
I just have a question. So do we have a quorum on the board? I know I made my appointment and I believe others have as well. So there is a quorum. Yes. So the reason we're not meeting is because we still need to fill two advisors.
Two advisors.
They're non-voting members. They're just two advisors. And the attorney's opinion was that we can or we can't go forward.
Well, my recommendation is not so much an opinion. I'm just recommending, for the same reasons that we mentioned before, that you allow everybody to be seated. And if it's an issue of not being able to get somebody from the university or wherever those advisory people came from, maybe you can just amend that to make it, other residents appointed by the manager, or, whatever you choose to do.
All right, so the goal is to bring the item back and I guess amend that piece, but I mean, like you said, it's time sensitive. And I know it's common practice, even, this board, if all of us aren't here, if there's a quorum, business goes on. So, I know it's not my thing, but, I was a big supporter of, and I would like to see that initiative go forward. So if we can move forward with a quorum, which, the recommendation came from the attorney, I would, be in support of that.
Yeah, I agree. I think at this point, when I look at the calendar, time is of the essence. I did proffer name Katie Sorensen, and I'll reach out tomorrow, or how about maybe after the State of the City? We'll reach out and then, okay. And so if we need to, Madam Attorney, if we're going to amend that, could we call a special commission meeting to have that voted on so that we can move forward?
You could. I believe it was passed as a resolution, correct?
No, I think it's by the ordinance.
Ms. Joanna?
Yeah.
Was it an ordinance?
It was ordinance. So
Oh, it's
Okay, well,
ordinance. Okay,
you'll need
perfect.
2 readings for it if it passes an ordinance.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so by next meeting, we'll have the 2 names, and then that way we can go ahead and move forward with the charter review. Is that-
Let's move forward.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Attorney.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I would just like to cordially welcome, or invite, I should say, everyone this Friday to the State of the City address, Friday night, January 28th, 6:30 p.m. And we will be in front of historic City Hall outdoors. It's going to be a nice time, comfortable, but please engage, reinvigorate, and understand what we are doing, because there's no I in team. This is a team effort. So what we as a board and what we through our employees and through the residents have done, the strides that we've made together, all stakeholders. So again, also it will be live on Facebook. So we do ask that you please join us this Friday night.
Madam Mayor,
Yes,
will there be food? 'Cause if
food
not,
will be
okay.
Food will
Just
be.
asking.
Anyone else? Reports? Okay. Any official board appointments?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I see we have a few applications for the
Yes.
Planning and Zoning Board. Rose Titus and Elio Guerrero have reapplied to the zoning board as residents under the qualifications of being residents of the city. And then we also have another application that's being reapplied for by Mr. Jermaine Barnes to serve all on the Planning and Zoning Board. Not, well, I don't know if we want to make I think we have to make a motion and we
Mhm.
vote.
Yeah.
So I don't know, can we do it individually or can we do it as a group for all three, just for the sake of?
I would say do it
Do
individually.
it individually. All right, so
Can I have-
so I'll put a motion on the floor to accept and appoint the application of Jermaine Barnes to the Planning and Zoning Board. I second. Based on his professional experience as a
Okay.
professor of architecture.
It's been moved and second.
Madam
Okay,
Mayor,
Oh, there's a motion on the floor. It's been moved and second. We're voting individually, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. Roll
I'd
call.
like to appoint Elio Guerrero.
we have to take the
Yes,
vote,
I
I
would say
think,
we have
before
to
the
take a
appointment.
vote.
Oh,
Yeah, we have a motion on the floor.
So I need a second. Who second?
It was
It was
second.
second, motion is second.
Okay.
Roll call.
Commissioner Dominguez,
yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Commissioner Bass,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes for Jermaine Barnes.
Okay, do we have a motion for Ms. Rose Titus?
I second it.
Second by Commissioner Davis. Roll call.
Vice Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Commissioner Bass,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes
And can I
5-0.
motion for Mr. Elio Guerrero,
Move it.
moved by Vice Mayor Taylor,
Second.
second by Commissioner Dominguez. Roll call.
Commissioner Bass,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes for Elio Guerrero.
Thank you all again for all your blood, sweat, and tears here in the great city of Opalaca. This meeting is adjourned.